Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here. I want to start out just thanking Warren Legary, who set the space up for us. Really appreciate that. Austin Brown, CAA, thanks for your partnership through all this. You guys are amazing, and thanks for being here. Myles, thanks for choosing us, choosing the Bucks. This is incredible. Thanks to Dave and Mary, your parents, for being here as well. This is a big day for the Bucks, a huge day for our city. To welcome the Turner family to our family, for us to continue to sustain success and put ourselves in a position to compete for championships, which we've done for near a decade now. This is a monster, impactful move and piece for us in towards doing that, and not only for this season, but seasons go forward. So this is huge for us. We're really excited. I'm going to pass it to Myles for a few words, and then we'll open for questions.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I know it's going to take some getting used to seeing me in this bus green, but rest assured, my girlfriend tell me I look good in green, so it's going to be a seamless feat. But just to kind of follow that, man, I just want to thank Jehovah God for putting me in this position, a very favorable position at that. I'd love to thank my family, my parents, just for sticking with me through this entire process, entire free agency process. It's my first experience with it, and couldn't have done it without them. I got to thank my team and MTX management, sitting up here up front, just been with them through every step of the way. Obviously, got to thank Austin Brown and John for getting this done, being able to orchestrate this deal, man. It was amazing. Got to thank a Hall of Fame coach and Doc Rivers for seeing a vision and seeing me a part of that vision as well. And, definitely got to thank ownership as well. Wes, Jimmy, D, and Jamie, just for, allowing me into this space. So, yeah, nonetheless, man, I'm excited. Let's get it.
Okay. Just raise your hand. I'll hand the mic to you, and just give your name and affiliation.
Eric Name, The Athletic. Myles, I guess just for you, free agency for the first time. How did you decide Milwaukee was a place that you thought you'd want to play, and how it might fit?
Yeah, setting was important. It was a ball place other than Hawaii, so not a bad place to, do some free agency work. But for me, ultimately it was about just staying competitive. 2 years ago, got to Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, last year we got to the finals, but being there, being part of it, winning basketball, it's just changed my entire perspective on this league, and I saw a chance to remain competitive here, and John and even Doc has assured me that winning is the top priority here, and we just align with our visions.
Kind of with everything you guys have gone through in Indianapolis, like the idea of playing somewhere else, how did you kind of come to terms with like that might be your reality, or that you might play for a different team other than the only team that you had played for previously?
Yeah, that's all I've ever known. I never switched high schools. I went to University of Texas. I've only been on one team in the league, and I was open to it. I really much was. Just becoming a man is a part of change. Change is inevitable, and when I saw an opportunity for myself to, what I thought to be successful, I had to take it, and just was a favorable position for myself and my family. So, again, man, I just once the opportunity presented itself, I wanted to, just take full advantage of it.
I guess, John.
By the way, this is how our press conference.
I was about to say, you're making it real easy on me, man.
Yeah. Eric always gets 3 questions.
His partner's not here, so he's got to ask all the questions.
John, I guess just for you, the idea of adding Myles, obviously, to get to that place, you had a wave and stretch, Damian Lillard, the largest wave and stretch of all time. How did you guys become comfortable with that idea, that dead money was going to be on your books, but also it might give you the chance to get Myles?
Yeah, Eric, first of all, huge credit to our staff, and a number of them from a front office group, our cap and strategy group, headed with Milton Newton and Dave Dean and Ryan Hoover and Pat Hanneman. The group thinks creatively. Our ownership group really forces us to think outside the box, look at problems in a different way, look for solutions in a different way. And so, we had multiple paths throughout the course of an off season. In all of our off-season planning prior to thinking about how can we take this team to the next level, how can we improve. And Myles is sitting there as the best free agent in all of the market, and you looked at ways in which we could potentially get to that and truly take our team and retool it, rethink it, modernize our style of play, impact Giannis and his development and his growth as a playmaker, the way that Doc put him in positions at the end of the season in the playoffs, and it just was a perfect fit. And so those are big decisions with big financial ramifications, big roster ramifications, but you get comfortable with it because you get a chance to sit with this guy and put him on your team and watch those two play together with the rest of our core group that's built to fit Giannis and maximize his skill set. So a lot of lift, a lot of load, great people, great investment and trust with our ownership, and here we are today.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. Myles, it's 3 weeks since you came off the great experience of the NBA Finals. And a lot of times an experience like that for a team that knocks on the door so dramatically, it can lead into the following season. And yet you won't be a part of that for Indiana now. Did Tyrese's situation and unavailability next season play a factor at all in your decision?
Well, first I'll start with you. Started with their experience. That's an amazing thing that not a lot of players get to get in this league. Being in the NBA Finals. Something that was one of the greatest learning experiences I've ever had. You just realize how hard it is to get there, how hard it is to win, just how mentally exhausting it is, physically, everything. It's just one of the best experiences of my entire life. And the only thing that went into this decision was getting to get that experience once again. And I saw fit with an opportunity here to make that happen.
Guys, Tim Reynolds with the Associated Press. Doc, one for you first, if you don't mind. It's the off season, and I know you tried to shut down, but when you heard that this was a possibility, how long did it take before you started thinking about what Myles could do with Giannis?
Pretty quickly. It's interesting, and I told Myles this, if you could sit down before free agency started and draw the perfect fit next to Giannis, it was a picture of him, Then last night, it was interesting. We started talking about I don't think people give how hard it is to win enough. People don't get it. And, Myles and I, we started talking about it, and we were talking about my, years. And I said, yeah, winning is hard, man. And it takes everything out of you. Everything has to go right. Health and playing together and the team meshing and the right shot it just takes so much. And getting close and not getting it drives you even more. It does. It becomes a force multiplier. And, we share, I've won one, but it's the other one that makes you drive to want to win another one, And so the fit is perfect. And not only that, just our team, we wanted to get younger. We've done that. Myles just turned 29, So in one swoop, we're a younger basketball team. We want to play at a better pace, which we started doing. It's just all these things all came together. So yeah, I'm thinking about it now, and I'll think about it all summer.
Myles, to that end, the idea that you can play with somebody obviously generational, like Giannis, how much of a factor was that in the decision making for you?
Yeah, I was tired of taking them damn shoulders and elbows to my chest to be able to play. For someone as forceful as he is, but nah, man, it's a rarity in this league that you get to be alongside, like you said, a generational player, arguably, one of the greatest players to play this game. But not even that, man. I just look at this roster and how it's tooled. I competed against these guys for the past 2 seasons, man. There was a respect from afar about just how they went about their business. My former team, we were young and hungry, and I look at this team. It's a veteran group of guys that, just kind of like just a grungy, just like want to win by any means necessary. Just battling in them series is just kind of it just woke something up in me a little bit. I was just kind of curious to see what that would be like, and there's a reason why guys want to be here, man. Gary Trent resigns, Bobby Portis resigns, Torian Prince resigns, Ryan Rollins resigns. Like everybody sees the vision. They don't just resign, just to do it. So I just think that there's a real belief, within this organization, and I align myself with that.
Myles, what was the moment or time you realized you might not return, and how do you feel like the Bucks fit into what you wanted more so than a return to the Pacers?
First and foremost, Tony, respect to you, bro. I'm happy you're here, and I appreciate everything you've done for me and over the past couple of years, bro. You've been one of the realest reporters have been around. So to that end, I forgot your question. Say it again.
That was pretty good, though.
What was the moment or time you realized that returning might not be the right thing for you, and what made the Bucks the right choice instead of a return?
There was a lot of decisions that had to go into it. It wasn't an easy one. I spent 10 years of my life in one place. I was a teenager when I first got to the indie market, and when I just sat back and started to evaluate things and just see where I was in my career, see where I was in my life, and what I wanted for myself. I just kind of saw what the Bucks were putting together, and I was excited about the opportunity. I had great conversation with Doc and John, and obviously my agent as well and my family. And I think we just, we all decided, and ultimately I decided that, this is where I needed to be.
John, Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. This is for Myles. So, John, when you look at the Eastern Conference landscape with the injuries to Boston, with the injuries to Indiana, that creates a gulf at the top, potentially. Did that sort of hasten your own aggressiveness? You're usually aggressive anyway, but did that sort of hasten your aggressiveness into making a move like this?
Yeah, Vince, I think from day one, we've never been confused with being patient or not aggressive. I view it as the most awesome responsibility of anyone who's ever gotten to work in sport to have a chance to build a team with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and a chance to build a team that fits Doc's vision and style of play and how those things align. And so this offseason, the balance in the East, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. We've got the best player in the world. We have the best coach in the world. We have a system in place that I think maximizes Giannis's talent, and now we have the best counterpart next to him to maximize his talent even more. And that's the whole reason why we've done what we've done, and we're going to continue to do it each and every time we get a chance.
John, Tim Reynolds with AP again. I had one more for you as well. Kind of along the lines of what Vinny just asked you. I know you have to plan for the future, but do you kind of feel like in this apron era that we're in, is everybody kind of in win now mode? Like, do you almost have to be every year? It's either, it just feels like it's a very all or nothing league right now. Do you kind of approach it that way?
I would just say it maybe a different way, Tim. I think that Doc and I talk about this all the time. I think the NBA is as compelling and competitive today as it's ever been. I think there are genuinely 5, 6, 7, 8 teams, going into a season that have a real chance to play. There are elite players on these teams in both conferences. And so I think you have to continue to push the limits, think outside the box, grind, try to win on things on the margins, try to win on things at the big things, win at the small things, player development. We have an incredible player development staff. Our young players are starting to contribute at a high level. You're going to see some of these guys pop again for us this year, just like you saw AJ Green pop for us last year. Ryan Rollins is getting ready to come. You all saw Jamari Bouye last night hit a game winner. Pete Nance, all these guys that are here. Like, we have a great system of development. We're trying to win on the margins, and we're trying to win with the big things as well. Because I just think the dynamics in the league is so competitive. And, is that part of the salary cap system and the overall plan? Absolutely, I think it was. And I'm just thankful that we get to kind of operate in that system and try to do things that we can.
Hey, Myles, good to see you, brother. Michael Scott from Hoops Hype. Two-part question. One, you obviously made a heartfelt message to Pacers Nation when you left and whatnot. You're also close with your teammates. I'm just curious, did you talk to them about the decision? And now coming here in Milwaukee in this opportunity, some of the other media members mentioned about, they had to waive Dame and make a big financial commitment to you. How do you feel about all of those moves being done to bring you here? Is there any extra sense of pressure, even more on top of what you put on yourself as a player?
Yeah, to answer the first part of your question, right when the news broke, I made sure that I sent, we had a group message, with the Pacers, and I sent it to every single person on the team. I want to make sure that, I just informed them. They didn't have to find out, through social media, anything like that. So, yeah, I hit them, a couple of them hit me back. There's a saying I hate when they say, the grass ain't green on the other side. I'm confident enough to say that the grass is going to be green wherever I go. And I truly believe that. And, being on this side of things, yeah, I understand, what was done to bring me here. But, I'm in the prime of my career, still in the young part of the prime of my career, more focused than ever. I'm just obviously more motivated than ever, getting to the very last day of the season, not being able to see it through. So, I'm very confident in my abilities and the confidence of this roster and this group. To make some things happen. I've heard somebody else say, talking about the Eastern Conference this year. It's going to be an interesting season, but I got full confidence. And again, I'm excited for the opportunity, but to answer your question, yeah, ain't no pressure.
Myles, just what has your communication been like with Giannis? Obviously, we've talked a lot about your fit with him and kind of what that will mean.
Yeah, we texted back just a little bit, but he was on vacation and I was on vacation, so I know how that go. I'm sure we're gonna be talking in the weeks to come, but again, I've played against Giannis for quite some time now, 4 or 5 times a year. And a couple years ago, we played him, 9, 10 times, whatever it was. So I'm very familiar, with this game, what he's capable of. And, I do see a seamless fit as well. He's someone that is able to push the ball, get out in transition, create for the people. He's developed a jumper. I mean, obviously defensively, his intangibles are there. And, yeah, I think our fit is just, it's going to be a pretty cohesive fit.
And then I guess something similar for John and Doc. Giannis has been a large topic of conversation throughout this entire summer. Just kind of what has your communication been like with Giannis throughout kind of this entire offseason?
Yeah, I mean, and Doc obviously speaks to him all the time as well. We're talking about a over 10-year relationship. We talk to Giannis all the time. Our coaches are with Giannis working him out. Our strength coaches are working him out. I'll go visit him after summer league. There's a reason we don't really speculate or talk about any of this stuff ever. This is no different. We were entirely focused on our job. Our job is to build the best team that we can, present that to him, present the vision and the plan, and go and kick ass in the next season. And so that's where we are today. This is a big part of it.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, Giannis came in to me the day after the season, and we were talking about next season already. So there's far more talk outside of Milwaukee than there is inside of Milwaukee. Giannis loves Milwaukee. We love Giannis, and it's been a great relationship. It really has. We've had some of our young guys were in Greece already playing with them. I think we have 6 or 7 guys go down, several coaches. So we are communicating a lot, and it's about next year, and it's about winning.
Howard Beck from The Ringer for John and for Doc. With the loss of Dame, how are you guys feeling about the situation at point guard and with playmaking overall? Do you think there may still be more work to be done between now and training camp?
Yeah, I don't know. I like our team. I really do. I like all the guys that we brought back. Myles mentioned it. Those signings were intentional because we think we have several young guys that have the opportunity. Scoot and Gary Trent, AJ Green, all have the opportunity, Ryan, to take a big step forward. We obviously are always looking to improve our team. I think everyone is. You don't try to replace Dame. That's impossible to do. You just try to make your team different and better, and try to fit in the way we want to play. We made a decision. We want to play a little differently. We want to play faster, and we felt like there's certain things we had to do that, and we feel like we're doing that.
Myles, you obviously made this choice knowing it was the best for you, but did you sense there was any negotiations you liked with the Pacers, and how hard was it for you to walk away from them?
Well, yeah, of course it was hard. Like I said, I mentioned before, you spend the entirety of your career there. You make a lot of relationships in that city. It's crazy, man. You watch kids grow up, kids I started with that were in middle school or in college now, little stuff like that, as you know. But, to answer that question, there was alignment issues, I think, on that side, as far as me and them. And, just out of respect for their organization, out of respect for this organization, I'm not going to speak on that too much. But, again, this was just the best decision, for me, moving forward, and the best fit, I would think.